So, welcome everyone. Let us start. So, just before we begin reading the prayer, let us just invoke Mother's presence in gathering ourselves within. And invoking Mother's and Sri Aurobindo's presence. So today we have the prayer from of May 22nd, 1914, and let us see what can we take away home from this prayer. So, anyone who would like to read it out aloud for us, you're welcome to do so. Please unmute and read it out aloud for all of us. Thank you.
Yeah, Monica, I'll read.
Yes.
Yeah. May 22, 1914. When we have discerned successfully what is real from what is unreal in all the states of being and all the worlds of life, when we have arrived at the perfect and integral certitude of the soul reality, we must turn our gaze from the heights of the supreme consciousness towards the individual aggregate, which serves as the immediate instrument for thy manifestation upon earth, and see in it nothing but thee, our sole real existence. Thus, each atom of this aggregate will be awakened to receive thy sublime influence. The ignorance and the darkness will disappear not only from the central consciousness of the being, but also from its most external mode of expression. It is only by the fulfilment, by the perfection of this labor of transfiguration, that there can be manifested the plenitude of thy presence, thy light and thy love. Lord, thou makest me understand this truth ever more clearly. Lead me step by step on that path. My whole being down to its smallest atom aspires for the perfect knowledge of thy presence and a complete union with it. Let every obstacle disappear. Let thy divine knowledge replace in thy part, in every part of every part the darkness of the ignorance, even as thou hast illumined the central consciousness, the will and the being, enlighten to this outermost substance. And let the whole individuality, from its first origin and essence to its last projection and most material body, be unified in a perfect realization and a complete manifestation of thy soul reality. Nothing is in the universe but thy life, thy light, thy love. Let everything become resplendent and transfigured by the knowledge of thy truth. Thy divine love floods my being. Thy supreme light is shining in every cell. All excels because it knows thee and because it is one with thee. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So when you were reading, it appeared to me that this is just what we were reading in our Savitri session this time, where in Synthesis of Yoga we were touching upon the aspect that although one must rise in the height, but also keep a touch with the base. So one has to come back to the instrument because the instrument cannot be left in the darkness. So somehow it is exactly that uh, reference here also. Yeah. So any thoughts, anyone, any reflections as of now? Okay, so let's go one by one through the prayer, and then if we have anything to share, we'll see. So when we have discerned successively what is real from what is unreal in all the states of being and all the worlds of life, when we have arrived at the perfect and integral certitude of the soul reality, we must turn our gaze from the heights of this supreme consciousness towards the individual aggregate, which serves as the immediate instrument for thy manifestation upon earth, and see in it nothing but thee, our sole real existence. So, first of all, I would not dare to comment that what kind of realization supreme consciousness is mother talking of here, but since I'm like shameless in that sense, that even then we go through the prayers and try to extract whatever suits us, whatever we can take away for ourselves on the path right now. So when we as an individual we go through many little realizations, practical realizations, which make us a newborn again, so we can't relate with the older self we were. So that is a practical realization that one has, something newly is born and the older is shed away, and that continues. And when we consciously walk the spiritual path, you know there may be practical realizations in the being where again that new birth is happening, and again there is no end to those successive understandings and realizations. So wherever we are, we don't have to bother ourselves with, oh, we don't know where mother is, but wherever we are right now, if we see, look in within ourselves, we will see that somehow there is a knowing of what is real, what is unreal, what I should engage in and what I should not engage in. This is where I waste my time, this is where I use my time. So we may not keep speaking it all around, but somewhere, someone in us, some discernment, some intelligence in us knows, is aware of that fact. So we are not blinded at this moment of time totally. We may be blinded at many other levels, but something in us knows what uplifts us, what doesn't uplift us. you know so when we have discerned successively what is real from what is unreal, and in all states of being, and further and further, but we are not, maybe I would not dare, if anyone wants to share anything on it, you're most welcome. But wherever I am, and if I can make a distinction between, okay, this is beneficial, this is not beneficial, when I'm lost in the loopy thoughts, it doesn't benefit me, it is not real, it is like an illusion wanting to pull me towards it. And when I am with the mother's presence, then it is beneficial, and I feel that this is what I have to live. So that becomes real for me. So when we stabilize ourselves in that soul reality, mother says, and we have maybe achieved some kind of relative degree of stabilization, I'm just rephrasing for our own self, then mother says that the work is not over. Because I was meeting somebody today, and very, like, senior, one can say, for many years on the path, around 80, 90 years old. And she was saying that when I was in another place, I felt that, कोई problem ही नहीं है मेरी life में. See, all my interactions are so beautiful. People want to listen to me. She was giving some Zoom talks there. And now she has come back to India for some time, and she's wondering that, her maid, female help, she just gets annoyed and frustrated at every second instant. So she realizes that now this is where I have to work, because on our own, in our, like all the gala places that we live with our good friends, we are all good. But in daily interactions and workplace and, challenging situations, what is my attitude? Do I still get frustrated? Do I still get angry? How long does the anger stay? Am I able to shed it off? How long do the loopy thoughts go on and on? So this is the instrument of mind, emotions and body. In seclusion, I may be feeling that I am great, but the instrument remains unchanged. And this is where what we were touching upon in synthesis of yoga also, that whatever little realization there, okay, it has to get translated in our interactions, in the challenges and vicissitudes of life. And there, Mother says that from those heights, you turn your attention to this individual aggregate, which serves as the immediate instrument, like we act through it, we speak through it, we express through it, for thy manifestation upon earth, and see in this instrument nothing but thee, our sole real existence. So the creation is not separate from the creator that we are trying to realize. Creator is present in each grain and particle and, atom and neutron and proton of creation. We can't distinguish that, oh, this is all maya and this is all rubbish, let me go to this, particular place, and there, my sadhana will happen. Of course, we in phases do that, but when we come back, that is also a challenge for us, and we must take up that challenge for our integral realization to happen, at all levels of being. So thus, Mother says, by doing this, what will happen? Thus, each atom of this aggregate will be awakened. This is what is our work. Each atom of this aggregate will be awakened to receive thy sublime influence. So yes, the psychic is all ready to go towards the divine. But what about my vital? What about my body consciousness, full of tamas and lethargy? What about my mind, full of rigidity of dogmas and opinions? Is that also ready? No, so that is where our work lies. That each atom, not only mental, vital, and bodily planes, but each atom, each grain of this body is like open to receiving light. Flowers are a very good example, how they open and blossom and turn towards the light, each part of them. So thus each atom of this aggregate will be awakened to receive thy sublime influence. The ignorance and the darkness will disappear, not only from the central consciousness, which is the central being, which is the first one to want the divine, to seek the divine. Not only from there, the darkness doesn't only disappear from there, but from its most external mode of expression. So yesterday we were talking of how when I go into a meditation, I as if take away my cloak or jacket that I'm wearing, which is like my roles, responsibilities, everything on the outside, and I commune with the divine in my solitude. Now, when I wear the jacket again, that is where my challenge is. All the roles, responsibilities, the duties that may be there in this life for me, the work, mind, thoughts, feelings, actions, that is my jacket. So that has to be purified with that light with which I get when I am in solitude and in silence. With that light, this jacket and cloak has to be purified. We can't leave it dirty, saying that these my relations are all like rubbish. See how much joy I am having when I am in my own solitude. So the very point that I am feeling that relations are rubbish, is because I don't know how to have purity in relations. It is only by the fulfillment, and this is again reminding me of what we were reading yesterday. It is only by the fulfillment, by the perfection of this labor of transfiguration, that there can be manifested the plenitude of thy presence, thy light and thy love. So, not only in my silences and in inner communion, but I see the divine everywhere. There is nothing that blocks me now from the divine. Everywhere there is possibility of perfecting yourself. So when we use the word divine, we can also use the word perfection. Mother used it. That everywhere, in every challenge of life, I have the possibility of perfecting myself. So we can maybe take a pause here and reflect, take reflections. Anyone? If not anything, we can go ahead. It's almost, it reminds me of how we have a pearl, and a pearl is encased in a shell. Now, we usually won't bother how the shell is, but what we are bothered about is the pearl. So, initially, that is required, that we get in touch with that pearl so that we have the light. But then our attention has to turn back to the shell also. We just can't leave the shell as it is and be done with the pearl. And that is how the idea of, when Sri Aurobindo writes life divine, it's not that there is somebody else somewhere else that the life can be divine, but here on earth, terrestrial existence, that life has to be divine, become divine. And it cannot become divine unless each one of us communes first. See, first, in the first paragraph, mother already shares that first we have to do this communion is necessary, because I have to get in touch with that light which has the power and force to transform the outer being. Otherwise, I am powerless. So, first, she's talking about this inner communion. That's very, very important. Because on the outer surface, if I try to have my battles, no chance, no luck, because there is no light, no real fountain of knowledge that I am connected to. So, she is saying, when we have discerned successively what is real from what is unreal in all states of being and all words of life, when we have arrived at the perfect and integral certitude of soul reality, then we must turn our gaze from the heights of this supreme consciousness to the individual aggregate. So we can't skip this step that, okay, let me give attention to my aggregate. No, it won't work, because we won't have the power. When we get in touch with our true consciousness, which either we call psychic or central being, anything that we connect with, when we get in touch with that, we get power, we get force. Consciousness is coupled with shakti there. Consciousness is coupled with force, chit shakti. So with that power, now if I turn the gaze to this instrument, the aggregate that I am, then I may have some success. So it is very important to realize the sequence of events and not try to just fight our battles on the outer surface. Oh, because mother said so, let me correct my instrument. I have no knowledge how to correct my instrument. There is no light. True light is not there. And with the light of mind, how will I, how far can I go? I can go far, but how far? So parallelly, this has to go on simultaneously. And this we have also have to see that this is written by mother when she was here in Pondicherry for the first time. And so far she has been inwardly working on herself and having lots of realizations. And now she says that now the attention has to turn to the aggregate also, which of course is happening. It's not that the perfection had not been happening, but more so, more so, because with perfection there is no end. And then she says, going further, Lord, thou makest me understand that this truth ever more clearly. Lead me step by step on that path. My whole being down to its smallest atom aspires for the perfect knowledge. Look at the aspect of aspiration, where it goes. Not only satisfied with purity of feelings, thoughts, to the atom, to the body consciousness. My whole being down to its smallest atom aspires for the perfect knowledge. So that perfect knowledge has to be awakened not only in the mind, but also in each particle and atom of the body. Knowledge of thy presence and a complete union with that knowledge. Let every obstacle disappear. Let thy divine knowledge replace in every part the darkness of ignorance. Now we have to see that how we partner with ignorance in day-to-day life. We partner with ignorance when we believe our loopy, vicious thoughts and feelings. When we buy into our opinions about others, and we buy into opinions about, I know, I know how that person is. Totally trusting that this is how we actually defend the darkness of ignorance. And that is why if we read Mother Sri Aurobindo again and again, you will see how importance is quietening down the mind. Calm, quiet, stillness. Mother talks about this again and again. If you type, in incarnate word, stillness or calm or quietude, you will see again and again so many results you will see. So without, and when can that quietude come? The quietude, sorry, it can come when I stop believing in my thoughts and feelings. If I'm so damn sure that yes, I know what that person is, or I know what that situation is, then there is no chance for the higher knowledge to dawn. There is no space. My cup is full. So that quietude, that stillness and emptying of our being is very, very important. And only then I am not defending the darkness. Then I am open like a receptacle. So let thy divine knowledge, and when will I let thy divine knowledge replace? When I am unsure and uncertain of my own knowledge. As long as I am sure, yes, I can take care of this life. No need of divine being here. Of course, divine says, go ahead. When you call me, when you need me, I will be there. But right now you are doing okay. You feel that you are doing okay. So go ahead. So only then that certitude can happen, that yes, this is what I want in my life, that the divine knowledge should replace in every part the darkness of ignorance. When I stop defending my ignorance. Yeah, anything here? And it almost, at times it feels like dumbness. If you read again, Sri Aurobindo talks about it in letters, that when the mind becomes quiet and you are not holding on to any opinions of yours, no rigid dogmas that you're holding on to, and just open, like always receptive, open, not like in dull tamas and inertia, but open to mother's grace and influence. It actually appears like a dumbness, because if I compare it to how I used to live, all the time thinking, planning, acting, actively thinking, planning, feeling, in front of that, this state of quietude appears like a dumbness. And there many sadhaks asked Sri Aurobindo that what is happening to me, am I becoming dumb? So this is a phase that we have to go through, because we are so habituated to the activity of vital and thinking and planning all the time, that in front of that, that emptiness appears like, what has happened to me? No thoughts that I can believe in. Of course, the ripples of thoughts will be there, but one continues to reject them so that the slate is kept clean. And then we have space for the divine knowledge to dawn. That emptiness is pregnant with potential, if only I allowed to stay. Usually I run away from that emptiness. I want to fill it up with something or the other. Why am I without thought? Okay, let me think about something, can happen with us, because we are so habituated to thinking. We don't know how not to think. So even as thou has illumined the central consciousness. So see, the central consciousness has awakened. What we were in discussing in uh, synthesis, about the central being, the Jivatman. So that is in front. So even as thou, that realization of the central being is there. Even as thou has illumined the central consciousness, the will in the being enlighten to this outermost substance. So like a prayer, it goes upward, that I see how much darkness is there in this instrument, and as you have awakened something inmost in me and central in me, please also awaken this instrument, the outermost substance, the core, the crust, and let the whole individuality, from its first origin and essence to its last projection and most material body, be unified in a perfect realization and a complete manifestation of thy soul reality. So my thoughts don't want anything, my feelings don't want anything else, my desires don't go anywhere else. The only thing, the body doesn't have its own preferences and desires. The only thing the whole being as if is aspiring for is union with the divine, union with the divine. Not only the central part in us, which we can say the depth of our heart, not only that, it may start with that, but there is nothing else. Now the whole being, the aggregate, doesn't want anything else, because you are now certain of all the blunders that we have done in our life. Now slowly they have made certain that no, there is no other way to go but this, but this, but this. I can't allow myself to get distracted now. So the mind also wants that, the vital also wants that. Vital doesn't want satisfaction from other relations and wherever, approval all the time. We keep begging all the time. The vital doesn't crave for that now. A kind of a purified vital. Thoughts also, they also don't want anything else engagement but total. When we say divine, it doesn't mean that we are leaving behind the existence. Divine, in other words, means perfection, harmony, truth, light, knowledge. So won't we want love, the biggest aspect of divine love? Won't we want all of that in our life? All of us want, crave for that. But when it comes, we close our doors because I'm too comfortable in my grooves. It happens because the appearance that when the divine knocks on the door, the appearance that it gives is not that the divine is knocking on the door. Otherwise, we will open our eyes, no? It may appear like just a very ordinary instant, and it's the divine knocking on the door. Now what would you do? We remember, I remember that long ago when we were kids, there used to be some program coming on, Sai Baba's life, and it was like a dark night and somebody is knocking on somebody's door, and Sai Baba has gone to some bhakta's place with like being a beggar or something like that. And I think he goes to a couple of houses, and some people just turn him away like that, like, oh, go away, shoo, shoo, shoo. And then a person who is truly realized and is a bhakta of the divine, he calls him in, and he's a beggar. On the surface, he looks like a beggar, he doesn't look like divine. And this is where we stumble in our life, because we think that, oh, the divine calling has not come to me right now. How does the divine calling come? It comes every day. But we are so certain of our grooves that we don't want to shake off that groove. We say that, अरे ठीक ही तो चल रहा है, इतना effort कौन करे? So divine calling comes like that. And how do I part with ignorance? I part with ignorance. I defend my ignorance by being in my grooves, by not following my depth of my heart, and not following what is right, what is uplifting, not following that. I shoo the divine away. So the divine says, okay, no problem, next time. All compassionate, merciful divine. Tirelessly trying to knock at our doors, and we are so happy sleeping that we have no time. Sleeping in the sense, of course, we are awake, but sleeping to our senses. Awake to our senses is our sleep. I know my time has not come. My time will come. Maybe that person's time has come. So this is my sleep. Believing too much in my thoughts. Knowing that, well, what I am thinking is right. So even thou hast illumined the central consciousness, the will in the being has been illumined. Will gives power, effective action has been illumined. Enlighten to this outermost substance, and let the whole individuality, from its first origin and essence to its last projection and most material body, be unified in a perfect realization and a complete manifestation of thy soul reality. अब मेरी अपनी कोई इच्छा और inclination नहीं बची इसमें. The only desire that the whole integral being has is to unite with the divine in each aspect of life: the word, the action, the thought, the speech, the feeling, sensation, perception, everything. मेरी अब हट के अपने से कोई विलिंग नहीं बची कि ओके दिस इज माय इंडिविजुअल प्रेफरेंस, वो नहीं बची अब. The whole individuality has just one preference, which is what mother is sharing. And how will that stage come? Again, reiterating, when I will have become sure and certain of my unsurety in my thoughts and feelings. Without that unsurety, this conviction with which mother writes this prayer we can forget about it. And we can say, we actually fool ourselves for a long time. We say, maybe my time has not come. Look, this prayer is written by Divine Mother. Maybe her time was ripe. My time has not come. This is how we defend our ignorance and grooves. Nothing is in the universe but thy life, thy light, thy love. And we can't kidnap that life which the divine, in Ishavasya Upanishad, what does he say? He says that this universe is only for the manifestation and inhabitation of Lord. और हम क्या करके बैठे हैं? We have taken it away as if we have seized it, capsized it, captured it, and trying to make it as it's my own, my locker, my money, my little family, my property, my wealth. And no wonder that we don't get fulfillment there. Who gets fulfillment there? No one. Ask the richest person on this planet. The riches are not what fulfills him. Something else maybe. Maybe they just bring more stress to him. So nothing is in the universe but thy life. So our life is belonging to the divine. It is not belonging to one person in my life. Thy light, thy love. Let everything become resplendent and transfigured by the knowledge of thy truth. Thy divine love floods my being. This can be actually a meditation, that feeling it in each and every particle of our body. The divine love floods my being. Thy supreme light is shining in every cell. What a beautiful affirmation, awakening that light in each cell of the body. All exults because it knows thee and because it is one with thee. So that realization, that divine realization, that yes, I belong to you and my life is, of course, only for you, but for whom? So that realization gives like power to that aspiration. And again, bringing it back again to our day to day life, let us not ignore the divine knocks on our door, which appear like very ordinary knocks, very ordinary. He'll not wear a more punk and come. He may wear, but you know, usually he likes to delude ourselves, our thought or feeling, that we are waiting for, okay, this is how it has to come, but it doesn't come like that. He sends all kind of messengers, but we don't listen. There is a very beautiful story. The last thing that I want to share with my blah blah blah, and then I will stop, take more reflections. There was once a flood, and there was a Hanuman Bhakt, or maybe some Bhakt, some divine Bhakt, and he was waiting for the divine to protect him. So he's waiting, and when a helicopter is coming, he's praying to Krishna. I'm assuming it is Krishna. So he's praying to Krishna that please come and save me. And the helicopter comes, he doesn't go. He says, no, Krishna will save me. And then after that, some other ship or something they send. But again, he doesn't get on. And he says, Krishna, I'm waiting for Krishna. I am his bhakta. He will save me. I don't need the support of all of you. And he sends everything away. He ultimately drowns because he sends all the support away. And then he goes up wherever, heaven, hell, I don't know. And he meets Krishna and he says, hey, where were you? I was calling, 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 and the whole life I did nothing but call you. Where were you? What were you doing? And the Krishna looks really puzzled. He says that I thought I sent you a ship, and maybe then a boat, and maybe a helicopter. So, and this is how divine works, and not according to my ideas of the divine. So we have to stop waiting for our life to be bright someday, and use the pointers that we are having in day to day life, which makes us come out of our grooves. Of course, it unsettles us whenever we take any action step which is radical, which is unsettling. It does something to the structure. We don't feel comfortable. When we follow the divine call, don't think that it's at all levels it's comfortable, but you are certain that yes, this is, no matter how discomfortable, uncomfortable, but I know this is the right way to go. Like for a new birth to happen, mother goes through, the mother who is giving birth to the baby, she goes through the delivery pain happily. She knows, not very happily, but although crying, but she knows that this is what I have to do, required. And doctors wonder that the pain is not happening, induce pain, because pain is important for new birth. But don't we go through that pain knowingly that yes, it is important. It's important for me to go through this pain for new birth. So whenever we follow our call, forget about it that you will have both hands full. The older life will also stay and the new life will dawn. No, this won't happen. We can keep waiting for a whole lifetime and forget about all the knocks on our door. And that is why masters have said, don't waste this precious human life. This is the wastage. This is like, of course, we all have to come to our final whatever. Of course, we all have to. But either I can do it quickly, knowingly, or I can take, okay, it doesn't matter, 50, 100, 10,000 lifetimes. That's why divine victory is certain. But can I help the divine? Can I open my door to the divine and not keep shut when he's right here all the time standing next to me? And we all are, we have a birthright to lead lives which are inspirational. We don't have to just say that, oh no, there are others who live out radical, there was one Bhagat Singh, but me, no Bhagat Singh. We all are Bhagat Singhs, we all are Jhansi ki Ranis, if we allow ourselves to be, you know? Yeah, spoken too much as always. Yes, please.
Ma'am, first of all, namaskar. You were explaining about that person stuck in the middle of the sea, and there were helicopters coming and all, and he's still praying to Krishna. So the help, like to me, in my case, the help doesn't come that straightforwardly. Like maybe he's seen, like let's say I'm stuck in a desert, and I've seen an oasis, and to me it feels like it's just a mirage, right? So the confusion that I always have is, when should I wave towards a helicopter to come and pick me up, and when should I just sit quiet and leave it to the divine? Because
Yeah,
sometimes waving does. Yes, ma'am.
yeah, no, it's very simple. It's not actually that complicated. The first step is to quieten the mind.
Hmm.
Because when mother says, okay, how to know the divine will? In chaos and confusion, forget about knowing the divine will. And I can't imagine that situation. See, I can't imagine. See, if there is a person who is a swimmer and I am on the shore and I'm asking, oh, how does it feel? Let me know. How do you feel when you are in the water? And he would say all kinds of stuff. But for real knowing, I'll have to jump in the water and feel it for myself. So, how do I know the divine will is the question. And the first step is quieten your mind. Now, if you ask somebody that, okay, how does it feel when the mind is quietened? Doesn't help. Doesn't help. He may know the divine will, but what about you? So, वो first step in faith we'll have to do, because then in that silence of the being, a knowing is there. It is not just like dumb silence. No, it's a powerful knowing silence. A knowing is there. So you may not have calculated, okay, I should take the helicopter because see, 10 things have gone beyond me, and now this helicopter may be the last, so maybe this is what the divine. No, this is not how the knowing happens. It's an intuitive knowing. You just know that I have to step here. There is no pre-calculation that you are engaged in. So in that emptiness and silence of the mind, that faith in the divine, that is how the knowing comes, and you know the divine will. A knowing is there. It's not like just a blank devoid of anything, emptiness. But first that step has to stabilize. It's that's why they call it leap of faith. क्योंकि अब मैं क्या कह रही हूं आपको करने के लिए? I am saying that okay, you are standing on the top of this mountain. I am saying jump. You are saying अरे पागल है क्या? कैसे jump? नीचे कुछ है नहीं. So this is how we feel when we are not thinking. That how is it possible? No, I will not survive. So, but you will have to reach that stage that you will say to yourself, yes, I may not survive, but I want to jump because I have done all that I wanted to do. तो अपनी थॉट से विश्वास अब उठ गया है ना. वो स्टेज अगर आई नहीं है तो फिर वी कैन टेक मोर टाइम. लाइफ टाइम्स डजंट मैटर. In eternity there is no dearth of time. So but that stage should have come, that you are standing on the top of the mountain peak and someone you have faith in the divine, he says that ready to jump, and you say okay let me think. वो एक बार वो think किया तो बस फिर तो गए पीछे, वापस जी लो थोड़ा और पुरानी जिंदगी. बट वो जंप किया तो मर भी सकते हो, बट आपको ये पता है कि अच्छा मर गए तो ठीक है, बट ये जो जिंदगी मुझे पुरानी वाली है ना, ये तो मरने से भी बदतर है, मुझे यहां तो नहीं जाना. तो वो पहले मरने से बदतर कर लो, है ना. उतना सफर कर लो, उतना पेन में रह लो, वो बहुत अच्छा है. दैट्स व्हाई मदर सेज पैशंस आर प्रेफरेबल देन डल इनर्शिया. तो इतना पैशनेटली जी लो, इतना तड़प लो उस जीने में कि पता लग जाए कि दिस जंप, इवन इफ आई डाई, दिस विल बी मोर ब्यूटिफुल देन व्हाट आई हैव राइट नाउ. Then only the jump can happen. Now if you develop wings or maybe enter different world, we don't know, but that is what each one of us has to know. But it is sweet, that's what is guaranteed. Or Alokda says that in ordinary life We have first the sweetness and later the bitterness, like honeymoon period and all that, and later the bitterness. And then he says in spiritual life, we have first the bitterness. We have to as if drink it. And later the sweetness is sure to arrive. So that's what I would say. Yeah.
Ma'am, you said a line by mothers that what is that? I forgot. You just said it. You said it's better than silence.
Passions.
Passions are
Passion.
preferable.
Yeah.
What is that?
He says passions are preferable than dull inertia. We'll find the exact quote and share it.
Passions are preferable and
Yeah.
yeah, it is very powerful. And also, you answered the question so well that I need to get. I think to me, a full detachment with the desires will let me jump without a second thought. Because the desires are always coming, not material desires, but even you know material love, or like, oh, कौन है, मैं उनको क्या हो जाएगा अगर मैं कुछ मुझे कुछ हो गया तो. So I think I need to get rid of that too before I take the jump. So yeah, thank you for explaining.
I'm not asking you to really jump materially from some cliff. Please don't do that.
No, no,
है
no,
ना?
of course not.
See, even when I'm concerned about our loved ones, it's very simple, very, very simple. With mother, everything becomes so simple. Just like I am a child of the divine, so are all the people on this planet, including my family. तो उसमें क्या है, वो डूअरशिप नहीं रह सकती फिर. इफ यू ट्रूली ट्रूली बिलीव इन द मदर एंड हैव सरेंडर्ड टू सम डिग्री to her, and know with certitude that yes, we are children of the divine mother, and just like she is overlooking each and every aspect of my life, wouldn't she be better doing it for my parents or children or everything, everybody else? Wouldn't she know better? So give her that chance that she knows better. We have to give her that chance, because as long as I know better, she says yes, of course you know better, go ahead.
I know. I think I've been given enough examples on this. Even the last time also, I was told about like, I think in the beginning of me joining these sessions, you told me that it's our ego that makes us feel that it's only us who can take care of our parents, but that's not true. So that was one example, and the other one was there was another example. I think I think Taru ma'am gave the example that, or you may give the example. You may have given the example that there was a guy who goes in a different attire to see his parents and family, and he finds that they are happy even in his absence. And it is only in his mind that he was thinking that, okay, I have to be there to take care of them. So the answers are clear. It's just that convince the mind that
No, it's
that's what
difficult.
it is.
See, it's difficult, especially when we are physically away. There is
Yeah.
a kind of a guilt that stays with us. And I personally feel that if there is an amount of guilt that, okay, I am physically away from a place where I need to serve right now, we must
Yes.
actually take the plunge and go and serve. प्रॉब्लम क्या है यार, मतलब इतनी क्या चीजें हैं लाइफ में जो इंपॉर्टेंट हो रही हैं. इफ देर आर टू पर्सन्स इन माई फैमिली एंड राइट नाउ दे आर इन नीड ऑफ हेल्प, why won't I be there? What else is more important to me? So इसमें स्ट्रगल की क्या पोजीशन है, मुझे वो स्ट्रगल नहीं समझ में आती. या तो तुम अपनी जीवन जी लो जो जी रहे हो, वो भी नहीं जीना ढंग से, और या तो वहां पे जाके सर्विस कर लो, वो भी नहीं करनी. तो वी आर लाइक दिस, ऑलवेज पैंट फटी रहती है बीच में से, और दो बोट्स में सवार कर रहे होते हैं विद लॉट्स ऑफ गिल्ट, एंड दैट टेक्स अस नो वेयर. रियली इट्स अ वेरी सैड सिचुएशन दैट वी गेट स्टक इन टू. है ना? तो टेक द प्लंज, सर्व. लॉन्ग बैक ईयर्स अगो आई वॉन्टेड टू बी बैक विद माई पेरेंट्स. I said nothing doing. I may have written my thesis. I just want to be back. And people were like, are you crazy? You have written your thesis. Get the degree, get the degree. So later on, of course, I stayed for a couple of more days and got the degree. But it should not matter. Follow the heart's calling, and that heart's calling may at times feel really mad. if I look back at my life, I have done all kind of mad things which people would say, oh my god, how did you do that, but I did that, still surviving. ये जहां हम ये दो बोट्स में लटके रहते हैं ना, कि हार्ट कहीं और बुला रहा है, अरे भाई हार्ट बुला रहा है अगर वतन की तरफ, तो वतन की तरफ चले जाओ ना। मतलब प्रॉब्लम क्या हो रही है, क्या छूट जाएगा? सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हो तुम ही तो जाओगे वतन, है ना? और अगर जो यहाँ की जिंदगी छूटेगी तो फिर से क्रिएट कर लेना, मतलब व्हाट्स द बिग डील, व्हाट मैटर्स इज माय हार्ट, माय लाइफ. So I feel that we think too much and we think at wrong places. We must not think this much. Really. This instrument of thinking, we use it at, like, I have got a chaku. And everything now I am doing with that chaku. I am switching off the button with the chaku. I am opening my buttons with the chaku. I am sleeping children with the chaku. Nothing. This can't work. Too much thinking. That is why, again, why is mother saying passions are preferable? See, this is, I'm passionate. Bhagat Singh was passionate about India's freedom. So there are the steps get taken which are beyond reason. That's why I'm calling it madness. They are beyond reason. So when I came back from India, to India after whatever, quitting or whatever in between, people actually pestered me for many many years that you wasted a PhD degree and this and that. But nothing doing, I knew what I wanted to do and never regretted that so far. So हमको ये कदम उठाने पड़ते हैं जो अपीयर मैड होते हैं, नहीं तो फिर ये ऐसे लटक के तो त्रिशंकु की तरह, तो actually we can be years in this position and feel guilty and try to find all the psychological help, but nobody can help me because that step needs to be taken. I need to test my waters. So this, I think, the radical steps in our life many a times become very important because they eat us up from within. These things, no, they keep eating us, eating us, eating us. भाई करके देख लो ना, इतनी माँ की याद आ रही है, इतनी पापा की याद आ रही है, तो जाओ घर जाके रहो, सर्व करो, चाय पिलाओ, वॉट एवर, वॉट. सो उससे क्या होता है, सी, विद दैट एक्सपीरियंस, now I know, okay, I have done this, I have been here for 1 month, 2 months, do I want to continue or do I want to go back? Again becomes clear, है ना? अब जब आप वापस जाओगे, that kind of tadap can't be there which was earlier there, because now you have tested the ground. That's why they say शादी ऐसा लड्डू है जो खाए नो पछताए, जो ना खाए, है ना? क्योंकि वो तड़प रहती है, तड़प रहती है, तड़प है, हमारे अंदर, कि नहीं करनी है, करनी है, करनी है. तो उसको शांत करने के लिए चलो कर लो भैया, कर लो, बच्चे भी पैदा कर लो, अब वापस करोगे, उस टाइप से. तो इसलिए अगर मैं शादीशुदा हूं और मेरे बच्चे हैं और मैं आपको बोल रही हूँ यार प्लीज शादी मत करना, यू वोंट बिलीव इट. बिकॉज आपकी अपनी वो है ना रेस्टलेसनेस, आपको वो अपने कन्विक्शन से शांत करनी है. सो वी मस्ट, जो ये रेस्टलेसनेस है विच वॉन्ट्स टू टेक अस समवेयर, वी मस्ट फॉलो, so that we know through our experience that okay, this is what I would like to do now and this is not what I would like to do. Clarity aati hai. Mother says in prayers and meditations, even for the best long journey, arduous journey, and innumerable experiences required. So we should not shun away experiences. Being in our comfort zones, we should not shun away experiences. The right kind of experiences, especially, we should get where the heart is burning for something. Okay, go get that thing.
मैम ये जो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन आप बता रहे हो ना, तो not staying between, not putting my feet on two different boats. तो ना मुझे लगता है कि लाइफ में मुझे इधर छोटे छोटे डांट पड़ते हैं या मुझे थप्पड़ मारते हैं कोई. तो जब जब तक मुझे लाइफ थप्पड़ नहीं मारता ना, मैं तब तक ना इस बोट से उस बोट में कूदने की डायरेक्टली सोचता नहीं हूँ. लेकिन लाइफ तो अब तक तो मैं थप्पड़ तो नहीं मार रहा, बस मुझे ना डांटे, छोटी छोटी डांटे पड़ रही है. तो मैं अभी भी मतलब मैं अभी भी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन में हूँ कि ये डांटे मैं मतलब ये सह लूं कि मैं भाग जाऊं इनसे, कि
नहीं,
मैं
आप
किसी
देखो,
और
आपके
जंगल में
पास
चल
ऑप्शन
जाऊं.
नहीं है. भूल
हाँ.
जाओ कि आपके पास ऑप्शन है. आप सहते ही रहोगे. आप तब तक सहोगे जब इतनी टीस उठेगी, आपको इतनी दर्द होगी कि अब आप बोलोगे भैया हो गया, अब उठना पड़ेगा। आपके पास, आप ये मत सोचो कि मेरे पास चॉइस है कि या तो मैं सहता रहूं या मैं कदम उठा लूं। नो, यू डोंट हैव दैट चॉइस। अगर वो चॉइस होती तो बात ही क्या होती, वो कदम कब का उठ चुका होता। चॉइस ही नहीं है ना, इनर्शिया, ओल्डर ग्रूव्स। आपके पास चॉइस नहीं है, आप डांट ही खाते जाओगे, खाते जाओगे, आप खाओगे डांट, आप खाओगे डांट, आप खाओगे डांट। ये हम डिस्कशन अभी बहुत टाइम तक करेंगे, बहुत सेशंस होंगे। ये नहीं होंगे तो कोई और अटेंड करोगे या अपने से बात करोगे, खूब डांट खाओगे। एक दिन ऐसा आएगा जब आप बोलोगे अब मैं ये लाइफ और नहीं जी सकता, तब आप वो कदम उठाओगे।
तो मेरा
सो
सेंसिटिविटी इतना बढ़ जाए कि छोटी सी डांट भी थप्पड़ लगे,
वो
ऐसा
होता
कुछ
है,
हो।
वो होता है, यू आर राइट, बिल्कुल होता है वो। दैट इज कॉल्ड क्लैरिफाइड बुद्धि एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग, प्यूरिफाइड। बिल्कुल होता है, यू आर राइट। बुद्धा, यू नो, विद बुद्धा they say that that is why he could not stand that, how is this possible, this suffering can't be life। and we say अरे लिट थोड़ी सी तो है, बाम लगा लो, कैलेंडुला लगा लो, एलोवेरा लगा लो, थोड़ी सी तो है। हम सहते रहते हैं, सहते रहते हैं, सहते रहते हैं, सहते रहते हैं। ये हमारे में और बुद्धा में डिफरेंस है। यू आर राइट। और ये समय आएगा, अब वो इस जन्म में आए कि अगले जन्म में आए हमें नहीं पता, दैट वी विल बी सो काइंड टू अवर सेल्व्स दैट वन prick and we know that we did something which was not right, we said a word which was not right, one prick, and it will make you so uneasy that you won't be able to stand it। a time will come। अभी क्या है, अभी तो हर जगह से तीले चुभ रहे हैं और तब भी ऐसी नंबनेस है हमारे अंदर कि हमको फर्क नहीं पड़ता, है ना। तो वो वन prick, दैट्स व्हाई you know they talk about Buddha's clarity, and even yogis when they talk about, speak about what is the difference between a yogi and us, that is the difference, that he can't stand even a pinch of suffering. He says no, I have to get to the root and take that right action which takes me beyond the, you know, this prick. But we keep on tolerating. So nobody of us can say that, oh, I am not patient. We are very patient all the time. We are just taking all the pricks and fine with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Could you please give another example of bitterness comes first in spiritual? See, it's just very simple, Snehi, that see, when we talk about spiritual life, it's becoming conscious of ourselves, right? And when we become conscious of ourselves, we begin to see all the impurities and imperfections of the world in our own self. So that's the bitter cup that I have to drink. बुरा जो देखन मैं चला, बुरा ना मिलिया कोई, जो मन खोजा आपना, मुझसे बुरा ना कोई। It's bitter, you know, it hurts. Mother says that when you actually notice with sincerity something in you, it hurts in the beginning. You have to take in that hurt. Don't have to run away from that hurt. Just that bitterness I was talking of. And then when we begin to become, you know, more conscious of it, and, you know, turn to the divine, and each thought, feeling is purified, then it is sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. So that was what I was meaning by bitterness. Yes, Nandini.
I had two reflection when we were reading the prayer. One was when you were describing that our inability to see the divine when the divine knocks it, and suddenly was reminded of Tulsi Das ji, and how he always had a very strong aspiration. And imagine Tulsi Das ji, who was such a high cadre when he talks about spiritual enlightenment. And even when Lord Rama came in front of him, as you know, Ram and Lakshman came as two brothers and went beside him, he couldn't really see it. And then it was through Hanuman, it was through like, you know, in the harmony circle with Taru, we were discussing about the importance of guru. Importance of guru, till the time we do not need a guru, but in the beginning we definitely need it as an intermediary to actually, you know, who can you know, remove the cobwebs in front of the eyes to actually see the divine. And then, you know, it was Hanumanji who even when the second time when Lord Rama came as a small boy, he couldn't really see him because he was busy preparing the tilak. But it was Hanumanji who started chanting, that Raghuvar tilak lagai, something like that. He said, and he realized that it is the Ram. So even at that time, he couldn't realize, had it not been the grace of the Guru. So I was thinking about that just to add in that sense, that how important for us, and with Sri Aurobindo Mother, I feel so fortunate that the Guru and the divine is the one, because the Guru in itself is the incarnation of the divine. So that's something I really like. And this other thing was, if you can open the prayer once again, there was a particular line. Yeah, a little bit up. Yeah, so I also really like this. Lord, thou makest me understand this truth ever more clearly. Lead me step by step, my whole being to its smallest atom, aspire for the perfect knowledge of thy presence and a complete union with it. And when we were reading this, knowledge of thy presence and complete union with it, I got reminded of Thich Nhat Hanh's beautiful poem, Call Me by My True Names. And I remember when I first read that poem, the Thai talks about that I am also the frog swimming in the water, and I'm also the snake that eats that frog. I'm the 12-year-old, who is a migrant refugee woman traveling on the boat, and I'm also that pirate that rapes the girl. And I got so shocked in that sense when I read it. Oh my God, I can understand that I'm a 12-year girl. I can understand that I'm a frog that's swimming, but how can I be the snake? And how can that is something that needs to be transmulated. It has to be, it's not true, it's not divine. I understood like that. But in that prayer, when mother says that that kind of a knowledge where your presence and union in everywhere becomes so complete. So that poem really stood in front of my eyes, that till the time, like you were saying, so easier to have a good relationship with you or people in this group, because I say, oh, I have an affinity of similar topics. But it's hard to have, for example, with me it could be a colleague, or could be my mother-in-law or somebody else with whom there is this strong stiff, that kind of that pirate who rapes the girl, and yet find that kind of presence, divine presence, like in the practical steps. So just wanted to share that yeah, it's also a beautiful poem and relate, and all these things come together to give us a very complete and holistic understanding. And the last thing was, when we were talking about that, how divine really takes care of us, and it is the divine. I remember I lost my mom on 4th November last year, and my birthday was on 11th. So it was a very difficult day for me, my birthday. And when my mother left, I actually said to the mother that now you are my physical mother. I said that. But it's like it gets so difficult in the mind to really say it. We just say, but it's so hard to internalize. But it's so beautiful that even if you just say it, you don't really, kind of understand it. But mother really understands. And once you have said that you're my physical mother, you don't believe that she's a physical mother, but she will look after you as a physical mother too. I mean, that was so beautiful. And on my birthday, I remember that I woke up with tears in my eyes, thinking, because at 8:30, my mom used to come and used to give me a kiss on my forehead, because that was the time I was born. And I said, oh my God, mommy is not there. And there's a center near, mother and Shurpino center near my house, and I decided to go there. And without any preparation or anything, it so happened that I exactly reached the center at 8:30 in the morning. And I bowed my head on the samadhi as if the mother is kissing my forehead. And this realization came very late in the day, that my God, it was exactly that time between 8 to 8:30, when mom, because that was a big thing that my physical mother would have done, and mother did it so beautifully. So just that thing, that if we even do not believe it, but if we keep saying it every day, that you are my physical mother, you are my spiritual mother, or Krishna as my husband, or little Gopal as my child, even if we don't do it, but even repeatedly saying it, the divine will do it for us. So in that sense, that even if it's not two way, even one way relationship can be so powerful. and beautiful, which is easier. So these things just came in.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, anything else? Anyone? On Snehi's question, another thing which just came is what again we may all resonate with is that usually we turn to spiritual life when we have troubles in our life. So that is also where in spirituality the bitterness would come first and the sweetness later. Most of us, like me, one would not turn to spirituality if not for the pitai that we get. So it's bitterness in the beginning and the sweetness later. Yes.
Yeah, on the same thing, Snehi's question, another thing when you were sharing that came to me was that, mostly the world provides instant gratification, right? Temporary, instant fulfillment. But if I have to discipline, or if I have to say, okay, if I'm saying, okay, be mindful, be watchful, restrain from places where you don't benefit from, choose hit over desire. तो अभी ऐसा लग रहा है अरे आई एम गिविंग अप सो मच है ना मिलेगा क्या एंड इफ आई जस्ट ग्रैब दैट कोल्ड कॉफी और दैट बियर और दैट गो आउट फॉर द मूवी ऐसा लग रहा है हाँ अभी डिसाइड करो और ये लो सी हाउ हैप्पी आई एम so even in that case how it's opposite that here you feel oh you're getting this oh wow that pav bhaji or that dress whatever like it's right now in me and it's great. I know what I wanted and here I have it. And yet it leaves me nowhere, right? It just leaves me right here where I am, wanting more, a little bit different, a little bit spicy, a little bit salty. That leaves me the beggar that I started as. But when I choose the other way, I might feel I'm sacrificing. I might feel I'm giving up. Oh, my 30 friends who I loved, not one, not two, not three, or everybody. And yet, what it gives me, what it makes me, only once I give it or just open my hand, I don't even have to actually, it looks like a sacrifice, but it's not, right? We just have not seen what it's doing to me. But when I start, how sadhana, right? Like if I'm sadhuing my life towards something bigger, when I have an aim, it appears, it hurts. Oh, I won't be meeting him or doing that or eating that, for example, the petty stuff. So it appears I'm being, life is being hard or I'm being hard on myself and it's bitter. But where it takes me, I don't have to be a beggar anymore. So that contrast is there. Thank you.
Yeah, anything more? Anyone? I think वही बात याद आ रही है what कबीर जी says, no, लकड़ी जल कोयला बनी कोयला जल भयो है राख, मैं अभागन यूं जली, ना कोयला बनी ना राख. So ये हमारी हालत है. Anyway, so but there is divine certitude, not in this life, then next, many of them remaining. So we don't have to worry much. Just whatever we can do today, I think whatever little we can do, and whatever so called big we want to do, we must, if it feels right, no matter how many structures are broken because of that, but we must follow that call. Otherwise that call will follow us. Actually, it won't leave us. It won't leave us. That's why they say that if there is a call from the psychic, one thing which stays it, that it persists. So you may not be attending to it, but it is there. It persisting. After a couple of years, you will feel guilty. Why did I not follow that call? This is the quality of psychic call. It's not aggressive, but it is persistent. So I think that is up to our tolerance. How long can I be in that, not following that call and being guilty and thinking that I must, but I am not doing. That's up to us. Yeah.
Yeah, it actually hurts to wait until next life.
Beautiful. So shall we end here? Anything? Okay, so just let me taking a moment of silence within. May we all be able to follow what is right and true. May we all get the push, the courage to follow what is right and not keep simmering all the time. Sharing, dedicating this merit of collective understanding, reading with all the sentient beings. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you all.
Thank
Thank you.
you very